What's up, everyone? Another Void back with more Factorio for you. Episode 49. Really wanting to end this series fairly soon. It's going to be at least 5 more episodes. We have to go to Aquilo, and that's, usually these planets take about 4 to 5 episodes to, land, master it, all that stuff, get the science set up and everything like that. But then I'd like to go to the edge of the solar system. I mean, we could just look at it. Really, what we're going to want to do still is go to the edge of the solar system. I've already been thinking about it. And then Shattered Planet, maybe. So this distance right here, I think, is 30K, something like that. Maybe it's 40. But the distance from here to here looks like it's 20, right? Something like that. Oh, okay, route. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is 30K, 15. Even though it looks like it should be 30, it's 15. And maybe that's just because they can't size it accurately. So we got 100K here, no big deal. But this is 4 million. So will we get to the Shattered Planet in this series? Probably not, because that would take, well, maybe it'd just be, like there'll be like a few weeks between episodes. I don't really know, maybe. But today we're going to Aquilo. Okay, we already have our ship set up. Here it is. We set it up last episode. It's our battleship class ship. It's massive. It's way overkill. It's built way bigger than it needs to be. And off camera, I have been tweaking it to make sure that it's really tight and everything's great. You can see I've been setting up different circuit networks and stuff to make sure that it only leaves when it should. The sweet spot is about 115K. It doesn't wait at Fulgora, so it just comes right back, and that's why it's 115. We might change that. Also, off camera, I set up all the stuff we're going to need for supply. You can see it right here for Aquilo. I keep wanting to say Aquilo because that's how you say it in Spanish, and it looks like a Spanish word. It just doesn't have 2 L's. Anyway, so we're going to be mostly funneling stuff to Aquilo. Only thing we're going to do there really is create science, and then we're going to bounce. There's a couple things we're going to make there, but mostly we're going to bring stuff in. So we're really kind of set to do that. I've already moved myself to Fulgora, as you can see here. I'm all set to go. The only thing I didn't do was dump off all of my gear and send it up. Now, I did that on the other planet, and the way to do it is something like, I'm just going to put this guy down and then put all my gear in there. There we go. And then you just dump off this junk, right? You just dump all this stuff off. And what I did is I have a, now I have a thing up here that says that you should pick this stuff up. So what I do is just set it so I think it's called personal equipment. Yeah, there we go. Personal equipment. There it is. So let's set personal equipment. Okay, there we go. And then we just have to change the home planet. This is going to be from here. And it'll pick all this stuff up. This is just a nice and easy way that I found to kind of move my equipment around. Because I don't want to recreate it on every planet. That's stupid. You know what they should do is just allow you to take whatever's in your equipment slots to each planet. It just makes sense. Why wouldn't they let you do that? It's not... I mean, maybe on the first couple of planets or something. I don't know. Maybe they can make a reason why you can't bring it. But it doesn't make sense on the later planets. Like, I can just make more of this stuff and send it. So, just let me send it. You know what I mean? Just let me shoot up to the ship with it. So once it picks all this stuff up, let's actually put a circuit condition here so that it won't move. Let's say lock yourself in place, and then we're going to pick ourselves up. And we have pretty much everything I think I'm going to need at the new planet. And I've been looking at a couple videos on how to establish ourselves there. We are going to be using nuclear. You can see that's why I have lots of extra cells here. I really want it to be 500, but I was ramping it up from 1 to 2 to 300 because each of these it's 10 per shipment, right? So when you say an extra 100, that's 10 more ships, 10 more rockets. All right, everything's on the way. I went ahead and bumped this up to 500, just because well, not everything's on the way for this, but it will be soon. But I just want to make sure we have plenty of cells. I'm going to dump a whole bunch of them down to Aquilo, because that's going to be our heat and power to get going. I know I don't consider it cheating really with Aquilo, because you're supposed to bring stuff there. You're not supposed to start with nothing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start with something, right? So let's wait for this stuff to get here. All right, that is the last of what we're looking for. Again, I bumped it up to 500. I'm not sure I told you that. All requests are satisfied. We've got everything we need. We don't have me. I almost took off. But before that, I also added all requests satisfied, because we will eventually be sending things back. We'll also want stuff dumped to the planet, so we don't want it to leave until it's dumped everything, right? But let's add another condition that the the box condition, right? We don't want it to leave yet. We want to get it there and start dumping everything and just let it wait in the system. So before we do this, though, let me get in a thing myself here and say travel to space station. We want to go to Aquilo. Here we go. You don't do this very often, so I'm really... I always watch this part. I know I could probably do something else or, you know, concern myself elsewhere because there's really nothing going on here. But it's so cool to watch. Again, you don't see it that often because there aren't that many planets. You just don't do this that much. There's really no need to go to new planets. Once the planet's built up, you can just remote into the planet, which is good. I mean, if you had a real big failure, jumping between planets would be a big pain in the butt. But still, it's kind of nice. All right, so we're here. We're actually on the ship now. Let's get going. So let's take the circuit condition off, and we are now personally on our way to Aquilo in the massive battleship class ship. The ship is way overbuilt. I think we can get to the edge of the solar system with this ship without any alterations. We might need a Type B of the battleship class, but I don't think so. If we do, it'll just be more rockets up front or something like that. I think the ship is pretty well balanced as far as supplies go, and definitely power, we're good. It gets up to like 50% usage of power, so we've got plenty. It's really just probably an ammo thing. Like, that's a lot of big asteroids coming in, but again, with the rockets, it's not that big of a deal. And I've worked a lot on my explosive tech. It's not super high. I've seen other people with like level 20, things like that. Mine, I think, is level 11, 12, something similar to that. I think it's probably good enough. For Shattered Planet, probably not. Okay, we're here. And so that should trickle out down now. And this ship, you really don't want to let it sit in orbit just because it has that nuke. And the nuke fuel cells can run out, basically. This is why you don't want to let it sit here. But let's go in here and look at what do we want to dump first. Well, first what we want to do is let's dump the cargo landing pad just because I want something there when I get there. I'm going to set it up immediately, and then nothing drops on my head, stuff like that. So let's drop to the planet now. Now, as far as I know, you don't need heat to survive here. It's just your machines. So I'm going to drop to the planet. This could be a death wish. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to save. I'll be honest. I'm just going to save here real quick just to be sure that I don't have a problem. And in fact, let's save it to a special save, maybe 111AAAA or something. Maybe save 4, which I've never done before. Save X. How about that? Okay, cool. All right, we're going to drop to planet. Let's drop to Aquilo. We're going to get a achieve now for this. You don't get achieve for sending a spaceship here. You get one for landing on the planet. There we go. Very cool. And getting the achieves is still cool to me because I've never had the achieves because I always play with some mods, because no mods is kind of a pain in the butt. You really don't want to have no mods at all. It's so arduous and dreadful. So before I do anything, you can see I've spawned on this little island. I'm not sure if everything's islands here or not, but this is, I think, pretty typical from the videos I watched. Is before I do that, I did make some blueprints for city blocks here, and I just added the heat pipes in, which you can see I put them on the little thing here. I just want to see where... Okay. This is pretty unfortunate as far as... I guess the city block probably would go... I don't know, down there, I guess. But we'll just do 2 of the city blocks for now. So we'd go there and there with the other one. Which means we probably want our dude, like, right here or something like that. So let's just... I should have some bots. Oh, I don't have any bots. We're going to do this by hand. Man, I haven't mined by hand in forever. Okay, so we've got some lithium processing there. Let's go look at it real quick. So lithium processing, it's just regular tech, as you can see, is on all planets. We got a tech tree here. It's not very deep till you get to cryogenic science. That's kind of interesting. We just need the cryo plant and then basically use the cryo plant. We're going to get the science. Then we can work on the little bit of science that you see here. It's not much, again. And then we can work on what's beyond that. But really, we need to start setting up... The first thing you want to do is set up the ice. I think it's like ice foundations or something like that. Because, one, you need concrete in this ice area to put buildings down and stuff. But you need ice platforms to fill in the liquid surface first. And then you can put down the concrete. So let's put this down. Yeah, you can see we got some ice platforms right there. Let's put this guy down right here, and then let's start calling stuff down from the space. Let's call down I don't know, let's call down Well, we're going to want probably all the concrete first. We're also going to want... I think I put some extensions in there so we can get more space for our landing pad. Yeah, here they are right there. Let's drop those just in case I don't have enough space. Let's also drop all my equipment so I can just put it on. Then we'll start dropping stuff to get ready for the nuke. The nuke is pretty large, so I have 2 nukes on here. I might just start with 1 nuke and expand it. 1 nuke would probably be plenty for what we're trying to do, at least in the beginning. And 2 nukes would probably be too big, to be honest. Let's go down to the planet again and see what we got. Plenty of stuff. Let's get this stuff first, just so I can put it on my person. That just seems like the easiest thing to do. There we go, and I'll power up just because I have a fission reactor. Should be fine. Now I can move around. After it powers up, I can move around pretty quickly. And it's going to take a little bit to power up, but that's no big deal. Once these power up, these batteries... Oh, there we go. It's powered up. Okay, it's powering slowly. Looks like it's powering probably this guy. Yeah, okay. The roboports first and stuff like that. In fact, speaking of roboports, why don't we drop bots now? At least construction bots. We'll just drop all the bots. It doesn't really matter. We'll drop all that stuff too. Let's start dropping all of our stuff for nukes. Solar panels are also good to drop. They're really good to help before you get the nukes online. So what we'll do is I'll draw in all the concrete. We got plenty of space here. I'll draw all this stuff in. That way it'll make space for this guy for later. Let's just expand this out for now. Can't do it there. We can, but I'm going to use it platforms. No, that's right over oil. So that's one of the crude oil. You can get crude oil here, ammonia, water basically, and then there's like lithium geysers, which are usually like out here kind of. Where are my lithium geysers here? There's one right there. So we'll get those in a little bit here. Yeah, I'm fine with going over that for now. I guess that gives us way more space. Let's see. Let's just tell the bots, clear everything out. We're going to use all of this, and we're going to want the platforms. And there we go. The bots should be doing this pretty much immediately. Oh, okay, my roboport is disabled because I hate when you're trying to build and your roboport's in the way and it's just waiting for stuff that's on your person. So let's Alt-F that thing to get it moving. Oh, that's control. Alt-F to enable it, and my bots will go out and get stuff for me. Now, bots take 5 times the power here, and that's just to try to make you use belts, I guess, and stuff like that. I don't really care. We'll see what we can do. I've heard that, you know, power management is a really big deal here. We'll see. I've never seen it really be a problem, but again, I guess if it's 5 times the power draw, it could be a problem. I think with nukes, we're probably going to be okay. And I usually build small builds, so I don't think there's going to be a big problem, but maybe. We should probably put down some ports just to get this thing going. But real quick, we still have our ship waiting. Why don't we drop some stuff and let this thing go? Because it's just going to have a problem. Let's drop that. Let's drop 200 power cells. Let's drop pump jacks. Let's drop all this kind of stuff. Maybe these, maybe that. Some stuff just to get us moving if we want to. Let's drop all the boxes. It's going to go get more boxes. We're going to need those for sure. Those heat towers. And then we're going to need this stuff, of course. Maybe some of those. We need regular inserters too. I didn't think of that really. So let's add a new thing right here. Let's add inserters to this. Let's just add it right here, I guess. We need 50 inserters. Let's get those from Fagora. Because those do save power. And that's, I mean, if we don't need to use the power, we shouldn't. So let's do that. We might need a couple of these just rudimentary type items here to build something. We'll put them on our person just in case we need them. And then these are for the cryo plants, really. Ice would be good to send down. Maybe a little bit of stone. And then maybe the power poles. Definitely those guys. Might as well send those. Let's just send a whole bunch of that stuff down. We're going to need this too. We're going to need that. We don't need guns or anything, so we can leave that. This looks good. All right, let's send it back now. So let's just say... Oh, I also added something here to say, get me ice from the ship. Like, because I'm going to be dropping it down to the planet a lot. because you're gonna need a lot of water to begin with, and I figured, hey, I'm gonna need some extra possibly. Let's just grab it off the belts. All right, so let's get rid of this so it'll fly now. There we go, and it'll start going back and forth. We're a little stranded now, but who cares, really? It doesn't really matter. Everything's set up, really. I mean, we have everything we need. We just need to set it up. Okay, so I'm all the way out here. There's nothing else. I wonder how far away these islands are from one another. Not that it would really matter. We have everything we need, so who cares? But I am going to do this just to get more ice platforms. They're not that hard to make, but I might as well just have as much as I like. Look at all this inventory. Like, I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, here's where all the lithium is. Look at all these. This is a little bit to the basically to the right of the main island right here. There's tons of lithium stuff here, so that's great. Yeah, the other one only has like one, so this is kind of good that this has so many. Again, I don't know how many of these we're going to need because I usually don't. Like, I know you need a lot of science to do stuff, but I never need that much science. So, oh, there's the dead island, it looks like. We'll see how much I really need because, like, if you go to Fulgoro, you'll see I only have like 4 or 5. Actually, I have like 6 things making me science, and that's more than I usually do. I think I have like, it's basically like 5 machines usually what I need. But by the time, I mean, like, robot worker speed 14 is taking a long time, and I would like to go faster, but it's not a huge problem. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Before we get too deep into this, let's just lay just this guy. That's going to take up a lot of everything I've got, pretty much. That's going to be kind of a problem, but I think it should be okay. Let's just do it. Again, we're going to get most of this back from, and if we go over here, maybe we'll prioritize right here. Yeah, okay. Because I really need to put the heat tower down. And the heat tower is basically right where I'm standing. So let's get this down. Maybe I can actually help it out. Oh, the platform. Okay, with some platforms right here. Right, we need platforms right there. And I don't really need more platforms. I really just need this stuff right here. Maybe, can I just run it right here, maybe? Yeah, it's good to go. What did I run out of? Nothing, I'm just waiting for these guys to warm up, probably. You know, and then while we wait, let's start thinking about where do I want to put this, right? Where do I want to put my nuke facility? So it probably should go right in the middle of this whole setup. So it's really going to take a lot of space. I didn't really think about that. It's going to be huge. A 2 nuke setup is going to be gigantic. So why don't we just go with a 1 nuke setup for now? Where are my nukes? Are they in here? Yeah, there they are. Okay, let's just get all this stuff. Again, I have tons of space on me, so... So if I do 1 nuke, and the second nuke can be on the other side, right? What I was thinking is it would be really good to attach my nuke to heat pipes. Because, well, my nuke is going to run basically all the electricity. I'm not going to have any space for heat piping. So I'm hoping that the heat pipe, this far of a heat pipe, can touch this guy right there. So if it's 80 and each of these is 10, we can have 10 of these guys, or 8 of these guys. That's why I have 16. So we're going to want to put them around this guy. Right there? I don't know if that's good. Yeah, like that. And you want to put it as close as you can, usually. And then the steam can go forever, so we'll just route it around. I would just do it like this, I guess. That's good. Like that. And then the steam can just pipe around, which means it can go straight into the turbines here. So the turbines... Now, we're only going to be able to do 4 of these, so we can just pick these up right now. Right? The first guy is going to do 4. So the turbines, looks like we can do 26, so it's 13 per. And I think we do it like this. Now, we got to remember, I have to connect heat piping all in here. There, so, I mean, that should do it. We really just have to pump the water in right there. So I'm going to pump the water from, like, over here. Again, this will be good for now. This is going to get us, like, 20 megawatts. That should be enough for now. We'll see. So really what I want to do now is I'm just going to put in this guy. I'm just going to directly pump him in, and then later, like, we can change it. I think this is good for now. And then I'll just kind of draw this over. Actually, let's use this. I want to make that just for this guy. So let's bring this in right here. That should well, eventually we'll warm it up. I guess for now we can use this guy. Just draw him out a little bit so that he'll warm him up. There we go. He doesn't have any power. That's where you use one of these guys. Let's see. Let's get some solar panels in here. There we go. Nice. And we'll just go like, well, really want them down here. We'll put them up here. Should be okay. There we go. Now we have some power here. We're going to make water. And then I'm just going to dump a thing of water in there. There we go. So we get some stuff going. Now this nuke is up to... it's coming up really slowly. I'm not sure why it's coming up so slowly. Probably just because it's cold on this planet, I'm guessing. Let's do something like this. And then I can just put a ton of these guys around here. Like this. And then I'm hoping... No, we'd have to have one closer, it looks like. We'll get the heat piping in, and then we should be okay. Because I think these freeze, right? Oh, they don't freeze. Oh, that's cool. I thought they froze. So let's put a whole bunch of solar panels in like that for now, and that should give us a little bit of power, like 0.5. It's so tiny because it's really bad here, negative 99%. Just enough to kind of get some water going, I think. Yeah, look how slow it's going. This is like, it's never going to finish. Okay, I just got the crafting with efficiency module, and that's because I'm going to take some of this stuff over to... I'm going to bring it all the way out to Aquilo because I need to reduce the power load on these initial machines, and maybe a few machines, actually. I really probably should start thinking about quality modules and quality beacons. I don't really have that right now and don't really care to have it. I never did care. But I think on Aquilo, it's going to matter. So, all right, we got some power going, a little bit of power. It's not a lot, and it's already consumed all its ice. So let me put some more ice in there. The one thing I'm going to start doing probably is just let's fill this sucker with ice. Let's just do it like this, and we don't really have a way to do that. This needs power. For now, I can just do this, I think. Let's see how far that goes. Okay, yeah, there we go. And we're just going to have to use this guy. We don't have the efficient guy yet. We're not just... It's not back yet. So let's just do what we got to do to get this thing working. There we go. And let's request some ice. Let's say 50 ice, I guess. We'll do. And then that way I can just put it back in here. And I want to hand feed it. There we go. Plenty of ice. I'll take a little bit for myself, maybe. There we go. So we have a little bit of power. It's not much needed. But we got a good power supply going. Yeah, 23 megawatts per, like way more than we need. Now I can... Well, I don't want to take these up. But I could move them, I guess. Oh, they're kind of in the way. Really what we want to do now is get ice platform going. So now that we have some power at least, and these guys have... Oh, they got lots of temperature. Maybe we don't even need... Maybe we don't need the heating towers. I don't know. Maybe we don't. So let's just start thinking about putting down some of these guys. Well, this guy is going to get us this recipe here, I think. Ice and ammonia. So the ice is going to get us water, and the ammonia gets us, I think, these the platforms, but I'm not positive here. Platforms come out of this guy right here, an assembler. But I think you have to pipe it in. Yeah, here's the ice platform. Ice and ammonia. Oh, it needs both. Okay. It probably... I think there's a little bit of extra ice, I think, is what's going on here. So what we'll do is let's move this guy over. Same thing with this guy. Let's get like 3 of these, probably. All right, and then we'll just pull the piping up from here. Well, when we get it, I guess we'll do it. And that way we can do that. And we can just put some pipe like this. Actually... Yeah, and then we can longhand it out. We'll shorthand it in, maybe. And longhand it out. Now that's just going to touch. Actually, it could go in the back. It's going to have to move up one more to do that. We're going to have to... The ship's going to have to get here. Where is it? It's still picking up uranium fuel cells. Nice, on the way. It's basically done. It just has to get back here now. Then we can get our heat piping. So we're getting 100 heat pipes. I mean, we could change this to 200. I really need a lot of heat pipes. So let's do that, and then with Aquilo, we'll say, look, you need to get me 200 of these guys at all times. Oh, it's a good thing I looked at this because it's not getting anything. We'll say 100 for now, because if I don't, the ship won't go back. It should be able to fill all of this, I think. Probably. And then it should head back, because it's going to need to get another refill. Oh, looks like we're receiving some stuff. Look at our heat here. Temperature's at 500. That's good. So this should get us a lot of good stuff here. It doesn't have bots, though. Does it have bots in here? There are no bots. Let's put like half. There we go. Now it's going to build stuff. Let's make an offshore pump. I believe I can make an offshore pump, no problem. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if we have to heat this thing, probably. So that'll be good. We can pump it to right here. We will have to heat these, though. Oh, it won't work right there. Then let's do this. We're just going to have to do whatever works. And actually, this works perfectly because I can just do that. You don't have to heat that, so that's good. These are not connected. So what we can do in the meantime is just pick this up, I think. And let's just say don't do this right now. Because we're just going to use up the heat piping that I need for later. And I can just slap it back down. It's not that big of a deal. And then I can use the heat piping up here. But I can't run it across here. Alright, we're just going to have to improvise here. There we go. I'll put this back down later. Alright, so let's just move these over here, I think. We just need something that works like right now. I just need something that makes platforms. I don't really care what it's going to take to do it. And actually, we can do a longhand right here. Right, to pass the ice over. And now we just need to power it, which should just be this guy. There we go. So now we're going to get ice platforms, I think. Oh, I haven't told it what to do. Okay, do this. There we go. Now we should get ice platforms. Let's put this in a box. Let's put this in a supplier box, let's say. How come it's not making anymore? I have too much ammonia. The ammonia should be going over here. That is the wrong side. Idiot. Okay. That means this has to move. That's okay. I'll just move this whole heat pipe. Let's see. Like that. This guy can go there, and then we'll just basically move all this down here. There. Which means I don't need any of this. I need that. There we go. Okay. There. Now we have... Now we've got platform building. And it's not building quickly, but it's building some, right? It's doing something. Plenty of power. Just serious amounts of power. I probably can just take up all these guys. Really just not necessary. Let's put a couple more of these because there's a lot of charging that's needed. And I really just need these guys to run back and forth. Now I can connect this. There we go. That saves me a little bit of space here, a little bit of extra. As is typical, it has been a couple of days. I really just wanted to get this platform all laid out before I started with the next pieces because I just wanted some space, and it literally took probably 8 hours, maybe 10 hours to build this platform. So yeah, you guys didn't really need to see that. I actually did a little bit of more layout here. I added some, turbines, moved this guy over here. Now he's not in the way, and built out a little bit of the platform stuff here. So we're going to get some extra platform for when we want it. But the next thing we need to do, and you can see I'm like building up this, this ammonia because I'm getting extra ammonia. I almost said pneumonia. I'm getting extra pneumonia here. And so I have nothing to do with it. And I really can I need to get rid of it. I have too much. So what I could do, since I'm using fuel, rocket fuel to fuel these heaters, which I don't really need. I noticed that if I hook my whole system to this heat pipe, it'll heat this whole thing. Actually, I think I could heat the whole thing with 2 of these heating towers. But I think because I've got them limited right now to 400 degrees, basically, when it hits 400, lower than 400, it puts another piece of fuel in. That I think we're pretty much efficient. It doesn't matter that much. I'm still getting rocket fuel from this spaceship anyway. So, but what we're gonna do is just generate some rocket fuel to eat up some of this ammonia is what I want to do. So I've already tapped one of these oil wells here. I just put it in to make sure it worked, and I got it working here just to see if it'll work. So what I need to do now is plop down, and I really put a lot of this stuff back over here because I didn't know if I would need it or not. Let's go get what I need. Well, that's interesting. There's like 50 construction bots in there. That's not what we want, and there's a bunch of those guys in there. So let's get those guys out. So I really need this guy right here to make me some, and really it should go like that, I think. It's going to make me some fuel. And what I think I can do is do something like that. Well, really, it would be one more down, right? Just so it connects to the heat pipe there. Then select rocket fuel. You see you need water, ammonia, and solid fuel. I didn't know that. I thought you just needed ammonia. So that's a little... Okay, we can do this, right? Solid fuel. That's what I remember. Solid fuel, we'll do that. Let's just plop down one of these guys because I don't have enough coverage for this guy. That's fine. Let's just do it there. I don't want it to be too in the way here. All right, so that's good. Let's flip these so that it's a little easier to connect. Right? Let's go like that. Oh, that's gonna suck. I can't do it there either. I could do it from, well, over there won't work either. Could go underneath. Maybe this is the better route. And then I want to probably do it like that. Okay. That's what we're going to do. But let's back it up so that I can make sure that it's going to connect and everything. Let's get some pipe in here. Yeah, that's not going to really work either. Well, I don't need that. I could draw it down from here. Or just do that, right? And then something like that will probably get me this. It's kind of weird having to use the heat piping. It is kind of neat, but it's a little bit tough. Like, it does make things a lot harder, which is the whole point, right? That's not going to work, so we probably do want it more like that. Okay. Because I'm going to want to do... Well, that's all I need. Then I can just... Well, really what I want to do is this. Can't. Okay. So we'll go like that. There we go. I'm not really expecting really nice builds with this stuff. I just want to get it done. So whatever it takes to kind of get this working, I'm totally fine with it. And then we'll probably curve it back in at this point because I do want to connect it up here so we don't have to run that heat pipe all the way around, right? Okay, so that looks good. Let's connect this right there and then right there. There we go. Now we have oil. So now we're getting a lot of solid fuel, and what we're going to want to do is move it down here. How much solid fuel does it want? We can move it back up here. What is this guy going to want again? Let's look. Rocket fuel, water. Right, it wants 10 solid fuel to 50 water. The water we can just melt. That's fine. And then ammonia. Now I know you can use the cryo stuff to melt. I think you can to melt the ice to water, but for now we don't have those. We'll make those next. I just wanted a way to dump this ammonia out so I can, so I can make more platform, right? I'm going to need it eventually. All right, and then we'll probably move these out over here. I don't have anything on me. I'm really tempted to just go pick up a lot of stuff and say screw it. Okay, there we go. I got a lot of stuff, and I found 30 more bots again. Interesting. Okay, so for this piece, we will have to do something that kind of comes out here. I don't mind that. We can do that, and then we can just connect it. Oops, that's not right. There we go. Nope. There. Okay, cool. And then we'll just run, like, I don't know, something like that. It's cool. I don't really care. And then I think for this one, I'm just going to run something similar to that, right? With the ice melting thing. There we go. That's super simple. And then I can just request... I wonder if I can use these guys. I'll probably just use stack inserters for this. We've got plenty of... Ooh, that's not going to work. I can move this up, though. Let's move this up. There, now I can make this straight. Okay. So what we'll do is put those boxes here and we'll request ice. Now, ice It's not that hard to get, but hopefully we're going to be creating it pretty soon because we're really not. We don't have that much of it. So there's the water. That's kind of easy. The water is good. Okay, that's good. And then we're going to have to dump this out. Let's use stacks, I guess. It's totally fine. And we'll just do that. Great. And then that'll go on a belt, which I don't have any. Okay, this part is definitely going to be a little harder because... Well, I guess if we just do it like that, we're good. And I can just do it again. And then if I run... Maybe if I do that. There'll just have to be a little bit of piping in here, but I'm not really that worried about it. There we go. All right, now I can just do stackers in, stackers out, like this. And then... There. Again, these aren't really great builds or anything. The point mostly is just... And I really need a pump here. This is not going to be fun. So what we can do is kill these. I'm going to need a pump, and I don't have any pumps. So let's just build one. So I just added engines here so I can pull engines. I'm just going to craft one, but it would be much easier if I just had engines. It's odd that we don't have belt in here and stuff. Why is there no belt in here? Let's get that back on there. I'm really not sure why there's no belt. All right, there we go. I just made one engine real fast, so let's craft up that pump. Because I need the pump. What I want to do right here... And let's reconnect all this stuff. I want to flip these now. There we go. All right, that's good. I could put the pump here. Let's just put that pump in. Okay, so the reason, again, is because I want to say, look, don't pump unless this guy has, I don't know, 5,000, let's say. I want 5,000 ammonia over here, then you can pump. Where's just ammonia? It's probably here, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, when it's greater than 5,000, go ahead and pump, okay? Now, I might have to add more to this if this, can't... I'll have to figure out how to dump more of this if it doesn't work, but this just should work. Okay, there we go. Now I have no oil. Why not? Oh, because this isn't connected? Okay, that's no big deal. There we go. All right, we got oil, and we have plenty of spots to get more if we need more oil. So, okay, cool. Now we have... Oh, now we have fuel with nowhere to put it. So instead of... Yeah, we're going to have to back this up a little bit more. Let's back this whole thing up. Now I can do this. Okay. And then I'm going to do suppliers for fuel. All right, there we go. Now, I think using modules here is the play. And I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use modules for these guys. Because really the water... Well, we have a lot of it now. Oh, ice is good. Okay. I thought maybe we were running out of ice. But maybe not. Let's use prod mods all the way... Can we use prod mods here? Yeah, let's just use prod mods all the way down. For now. We don't need speed. We just need to get rid of this ammonia, right? So if this is going down, we're good. Because this is just a dump. It's not... Right now, at least, it's not supposed to supply us with rocket fuel. It's really just to dump the ammonia. It looks like it's dumping it. Oh. It was at 8 something. I'll have to check it. I'll know if it's not working. We'll check it in a minute. All right, so I'll go back and check that in a little bit. Yeah, these are both moving. Only this one's not moving. So that's fine. I think the ratio is a little off here, and I didn't look at it. I don't really care. It's already set up. Just leave it. Okay, so I set up a small rocket fuel plant. It's really, again, just to sink that ammonia. Let's go to cryogenic plant assembly now. And that's where we're going to need, I think it's the holmium plate is what we're going to need there. Oh, we need eggs too? No, that's biolab. Whew. I thought we needed biolab, man. I was very confused. Okay, let's look at what we do need. If we go down here to lithium, it should tell us what we need for this. Okay, we're going to need to craft lithium plate. So we'll just do that really quickly. We've got a bunch of raw lithium here. I think we do that in one of these guys, and this is just to get the recipe. There's lithium recipe. We don't want that. we want the plate. So how do we do that? Lithium brine, see, but you need holmium plate and ammonia to make raw lithium, right? But I want lithium plate. Oh, it's made in a furnace. You just put lithium in there and it makes plate. Okay, that's easy enough. I thought it was more complicated than that. It's extremely simple. So what I'm going to do is let's keep this thing moving though, because we're going to need probably a lot of this plate. So why don't we feed it? Again, we'll just use stackers. I don't really care about using stackers. We have so much power, it's fine, and we can bump this up. I think nukes are a little bit of a cheese here. I really could do all this with just rocket fuel probably, but with just heating towers. But the nukes help a lot, so we have a lot of extra power. So we got the achieve, right? I mean, not the achieve. We got the unlock here. Now we can make cryogenic plants. So a cryogenic plant is 20 blue chips, 20 superconductors, 20 plate, 40 refined concrete. Now we're going to have all of that, right? So let's make our first cryogenic plant. That's going to unlock the science. And then we can start building some of this other stuff like the cryogenic plant assembly and stuff like that. In fact, the assembly can just be right here. I don't need that many of them. It'd be like a mart, sort of. Now, where do we want to put the mart? Because I think that's not a bad idea to start thinking about. I don't want to just randomly build everything. It might be better to think a little bit ahead on this one. And then, you know what? Why don't we fill this in? Why don't I do that? There we go. All right, maybe we can put the mart down here. I don't need much space. Like, this amount of space is probably plenty. Again, this is not where we're going to do science. It's literally, let's build a mart. That's about it. So let's start here. And I think cryo plants can actually make cryo plants. So let's not get too feisty with our build here. We just want to build one of them. So I probably don't actually need this. What I really need, one, is I need this guy. Let's just put him over here, kind of out of the way. Again, this is going to be a jank. These are jank builds. I don't really care. It's totally fine with me. Now, I think cryo plants get a bonus. So we probably only want to make one of these. Let's go get some other materials. We're going to want definitely these. Let's just get 100 so that it has a little bit to work with here. We want that. We want that. The plate. Let's get some plate. 32 should be fine. And then do I have reinforced concrete? I don't think I do. Let's go get some of that. All right, fine. Let's get 100 out of here. Okay, cool. I'm thinking now I'm going to add more legs. I've been adding a little more legs as my plant kind of gets bigger. There we go. If all the legs, I've just run across the screen. It's crazy. I can't keep up with it. So let's dump this in, dump that in, and make one of these. Again, because I think the cryo plant has a productivity bonus, and this doesn't get one by default, at least. There we go. Now we get the... This is really where all we wanted to do today is finish the science, right? Get all these things unlocked so that we can work on expanding the base, getting the science, ship it back, right? We're going to ship all that back to Novice like we do on every planet. Then we're going to unlock everything else and start to get ready for Shatter, or Edge of the Solar System. So how do you craft this? Well, it's easy. That's ice, lithium plate, and fluoroketone. Now, fluoroketone, I think, is something we already got. If you look at cryoplant, we got that recipe unlocked here. So fluorine's the thing that I was like, how do you make that? I don't remember getting it. It's not listed anywhere. Fluorine is you mine it. Well, you don't mine it. You use a pump jack. It's one of the things that I think that's out on the radius, right? On the outside of the first island, at least. We're going to pump that in to make our fluoroketone. And then that's going to come out hot, right? And that process creates hot liquid. And we use another cryogenic plant just to convert it to cold liquid, which is how we make the cryogenic science pack, right? So it's not that difficult of a recipe. There's a couple feedback loops we'll have to manage, but like you can see, you get three fluoroketone hot out, so you get half of your fluoroketone back, which you have to run back through your process. So what we'll probably do is store that, and we'll take it from there first, right? From the feedback loop. When we don't have enough, we'll allow the crafted stuff to come in, just like we did a little bit earlier with the little pump mechanism we put in place. Again, super, super simple build. Now let's see if the cryo plant makes other cryo plants. It does, see? And I want to say it has a prod bonus. Or else why would you use this, right? The speed's faster? Module 8 module slots. That helps a lot. Cool. Well, I know you use it to make science, but other than that, I'm not sure. We'll mess with it and see. Let's start making cryo plants though, because I do think it's going to be better to make them here. The thing is, it doesn't fit here now, so that's a little stinky. We can move this over. It's not how I prefer it. It will move over one, which means we probably should move this guy over one. There we go, and then we can do everything we need to do. It's 4 inputs, correct? So why don't we just do this? We'll say, look, you're going to request all the inputs, and then you're just going to dump the outputs. This will be part of our... And for this, I don't want a stack inserter, because it'll sit there and wait, and if I don't have enough stuff, it'll literally just sit there. It's annoying. So let's do that. I'm not super... That's not super horrible. Sounds good to me. And then we'll just do this. And for this, I want a stack. I think a stack is 50. Now, you could use the ones that lower the draw on power. And eventually you might want to, because you can see where you're pulling 10 megawatts with one plant. It's really bad. We don't really want that. But it is what it is right now. Are we out of our... We should be making more of this, right? Let's just make another one of these guys. I'm not sure how much of this we're going to really need. So let's just do that. And then I'll just put this back in. Let's just put that in here, actually. It'll just grab it. There we go. It'll fill all those up, and we'll be good to go there. So I'm going to say cryogenic plant is good, because it's really just this Mart thing right here. Like, cool. Okay. And I can't do any productivity or anything here. It just is what it is. At least it's going really fast. Let's do ammonia plant. I don't know if I need that. I really need lithium. Right? I really need a lithium plant. Because I've got the fuel I really need. It's like, I don't need that much fuel, right? I'm not using that much. You can tell it just doesn't pull it that often. And I'm getting 100 sent down from the ship, so I'm not concerned there. Why don't we look at how are we going to make lithium? So lithium is made in a cryo plant. We got a few of those, right? Yeah, here we go. So lithium, where are we going to make that? Let's start making it over here. Let's start thinking about something that's permanent. So let's say we're going to make lithium, right? Now, what do we need? Brine and ammonia. I think that's why I wanted the ammonia plant. Now, again, the reason I'm doing it over here is because this is going to be my when I'm done, this whole thing is going to be nuke, right? And we getting close? Nah, we're good still. Maybe this could be the ammonia plant then, because I got to feed this thing. 1 holmium plate, 50 brine, and ammonia. Ah, there we go. There's a bunch of them right there. So probably what we want to do is platform out to that. It's a little extra work to do that, but I think it's totally fine. Because I don't want to make just a couple platforms and do something stupid. I'd really like to do it right. I mean, what we could do is start setting up the network, and then I could slap something in that's more permanent. Also, the pump jacks don't need concrete, I don't think. I think they can just sit on the ice. Then you just need the pipe, but you still need heat pipe. All right, let's mess with that. Let's see what we can do. So we want to extend this out, right? Why don't we do this? Why don't we start making... Firstly, I really need to capture... Well, what I can do is lay down... I should capture this guy. I think I already did. Let's look at the book. I think I edited all these. Yeah, okay, we're good. This is the new version of that. This is... No, that's right. That's on. Okay. So I've got this all set up. All I have to do is set it and forget it. So let's do that real quick. There we go. Gives people something to do. Should get us a lot of our stuff right here. And then we'll get everything we need. And then we can just hook right up to it. Because you can see we already got stuff right here. Why don't we just say this? Look, why don't you kill this? Now, this probably would be better. I was looking at somebody else's videos and stuff to have upgraded bots. I'm only doing quality on stuff where I need to do it, or it's extremely beneficial. Like, but bots, like they're already pretty fast. This is not a huge planet yet. Like, who cares? I'll just put a couple extra ports. I'll put more bots in the system, so if they're too slow or they run out of juice, like, who cares? Let's mine this by hand. I haven't done that in so long. No, dude, really, mine it. Oh, I'm not standing close enough. Cool, there you go. Okay, cool, I just picked that up. All right, let's dump the lithium in here, in case I did pick up some. I picked up a little bit, not really that much. All right, so I can run it at least right here for right now. It's not that big of a problem. Let's get some pump jacks here so I can actually just keep working. I also don't have pump jacks. Okay, let's go get some, I guess. All right, I had one. Let's just go get a bunch of these. Gonna need more of them, so that'll pull more off the ship. Let's just lay this down. The problem, again, is going to be heating these things. They're going to be frozen. But at least I can just put them on the ice. The hard part will be, I guess, connecting them, right? Yeah, that's going to suck. See, I really want the next platform over as well. So I am going to do a train system here, just in case I need it. After I get 4 of these, I'll put train around it, just like I would on Novice. I should have been doing this at every planet, probably. In the future, if I ever do another playthrough, I will. But for now, this will be fine. Let's just keep popping these in. Actually, this probably would want to turn like this. I'll run it down this way. Something like that. Like that. Okay. Yeah, because I'll just run it through there. So let's get the piping in that I would want to use. Okay, so I think I got that set up here. I've got all the heat piping and stuff. It's just going to have to lay it all down over time. And then what I'll need to do is I might do the processing right here because I already have... I'm right next to the liquid, right? Why wouldn't I just do it right here? Now, for that, I'm going to have to process some more ammonia. And I'm wondering if there's a good way to do that. And slowly, it's thawing everything. As you can see, the heat moving out. Eventually, we'll have another heat guy up. No, we won't, because it's the corner. That's right. It should be thawing this. Oh, it's not there yet. Okay, it's right here. 30C. Okay, yeah. It's got to come up over the freezing point, right? And then power. We don't have any power in here. Okay, we almost have all our heat piping up here too. It's almost getting there, as you can see. It's building up heat. And that drains the heat out of the heating tower, right? So as it drains the heat out, it's going to put more fuel in. So as we drain it faster, it'll start putting more fuel in, right? Because it's needing to refuel the heat. So it's sort of like a reservoir of heat that moves around the planet. At least that's what I've noticed. Let's put this in, I guess. I didn't know that we didn't have that. There we go. Now we have ice and ammonia. That's good. And we got the ice moving. That's great. Got our ammonia starting to back up here. And now we're ready to make the lithium. Again, this is not an ideal spot for it. It's going to be good for now. We'll make our lithium down here, and then we'll just... we can make the lithium over here. It'd probably be better. This is not much a great place for scaling. So what I'll do is once they build this platform out, then we'll scale it, okay? Let's move this guy up so they have a little bit more to work with here. Since we took that one away. But we'll scale it up over time. Let's just get something that's making us some lithium here. So first, before we do anything else, let's get the brine flowing. Let's get the brine locked into some storage here. Probably want a lot of that storage. And we really only need this to do it. Okay. Now, oh, that's connected through... Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's great. Let's pull it out down here. So we just need to run something right along here. There we go. And then what we'll do... Actually, this could run all the way down. Right? There we go. Okay. So that'll get us collecting all that brine. That's going to be amazing. The heat is not enough out here. It's probably because I pulled this out. It should start to flow back in there and pick up. Yeah, maybe. We might need another heat guy out here. That's totally fine. All you have to do is just copy this. And just put it out here. Like, you can literally just put it right... Well, you can't put it right there. Could put it right here. And then just do this. There you go. Now, we need one of these as well. Okay, this guy can move up. He's kind of in the way. And this should connect everybody. There we go. All right, it's been a little bit of time. As you can see, I built out 2 extra platform pieces here, and we'll be doing that a little bit more as time goes on. In between episodes, I'm going to kind of rearrange everything. Like I'm going to move this probably into the center or somewhere else, maybe down here. I'm going to move this all down here. I've already thought of different things I'm going to do. I'm going to build out more platforms so I can move things around. So, like, I think the lithium processing, or I'm sorry, the ammonia processing will be more up here. I'm going to move all this other stuff. This is just to get us going. So we'll do that, and then I'll get us set up for science. We're going to use this platform for science, this city block. Then right there is where the fluorine is, so I'll expand this out and get the fluorine. But I'm probably going to put the train actually right here, so I'm going to have to move this whole platform over, which is totally fine. I don't want the train to be trying to run right on that fluorine, is really the problem. So let's get the last piece, what we need, which is the lithium. And again, I'm going to put something out here, but I'll make it nice and tight later. So let's start setting that up. We want lithium, raw lithium in here. Great. And then, yeah, I think it can come in down here. We got to route the ammonia down. We've already got the lithium right here. So let's start setting that up. Obviously, it's going to do something like that, which means we'll draw the ammonia in. Actually, no, that's bad. I want a place to pull the lithium out, the raw lithium. So maybe you have the lithium up here? No, I can pull it out up here. That's what I'll do. So down here, we'll just use this as, see, that won't work. We're going to have to go in a little bit deeper over here. So why don't we redo this pipe? Let's get this to work something like this, right? Which means this will just come down like that. Again, let's extend this maybe over just one like that. There we go. Okay, so we got that down there because I would love to use that, but it won't work. We're going to have to draw this in. Part of the reason is because, and maybe this is still too high. Let's take some of those off. Is I need to heat this whole thing, right? So I need some space to do that. All right, there we go. That'll be a little bit easier. We will have to contend with this guy, but like it should be okay. We'll just take this light out. I'm not super concerned with that. This is going to be fun, though. This is just in the way. Okay, there's the sloosh, and let's just make sure these are all heated, nice and heated. I think that'll work, actually. Yeah, there we go. Let's take this one off. We're not doing that. And there, okay. All that stuff's heated. We're going to run a heat pipe into here. But before we do that, let's get this guy in. And I'm not going to worry about where he's coming down because that might move. But what we do want to do is something like this. Oops. Right? Kind of standing in the way there. We'll do that. I do like this because I can walk through here then. I mean, my guy flies, but it's just nice to not have to get blocked up like that. That means this pipe, if I could take it to there, I can just do that. If I do that, it should do the whole thing. Yeah, there we go. I don't need that one, but I'll do it anyway. And then we'll do the same thing over here as if we're putting in another one. There. Right, now we're saying we need power. Totally fine. Let's put the power back here, so I'm going to duplicate this system. So the problem I already see is I don't really want to pull out on the bottom side there. There, now we can put a beacon right here. I do have to move this out, but I think that's totally fine. Let's put one right there. There we go. Put a couple of these guys in there. There, that's a little bit better. It's taking up 6.45 megawatts now, which is not that bad. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we have lithium. And now we should have... Again, I'll move this too, because the lithium processing... I'm going to redo all this stuff. But now we should be making some lithium. So that's pretty much going to do it for this episode. We've set everything up, right? We've got everything now. We've got lithium. We got all the products ready to start working on science. I'm just going to expand out these platforms and stuff and get us some more space. And then what we'll do probably, I already found some, what we'll probably want to eventually do is go out here and get fluorine and lithium. We have a fluorine batch right here, which is pretty good. It's about a half of this one, though. And then this is double this, right? So I think 1 million is probably going to be consumed fairly quickly. We'll see. I also scouted out some stuff down here. There's 4 million here and like 5 million there. So we'd have to expand out pretty far. We're going to have to use trains in that case, which is totally fine. But I'll do more expansion off camera. And then on episode 50, we'll do science, and I think we'll be done with this planet probably at that point. We'll just lay some rockets down and we'll be done. This is a really small planet. There's not much to do here. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Let me know in the comments section what you think, how you handled this planet, and I will see you on the next one. Stay frosty.